Isaac,
How are you?
good. Running a marathon in a month time?
Yeah, 2nd of July in the Gold Coast.
Great.
Gold Coast Marathon.
You excited?
Yeah, feeling very nervous because coming down to the final few weeks,
Yeah.
you kind of think, like, have I done enough? Like, every time you didn't really go for a run properly. I think it's all kind of brewing in my head at the moment.
Yeah. Why does someone decide to run a marathon? I'm curious. How many is it? 42 kilometres.
42 kilometres.
Just in your thoughts. You're in your thoughts of 42 kilometres.
I think it's a cool achievement.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a big statement because I never used to be really good at running.
Yeah.
Like, I used to go for a run every now and then tell all my mates about it. But then when you go out and you run a marathon, you just find something, I think.
What do you find?
Like, I think you find, like, the mental willpower that you have.
Yeah.
Like, so through all the... I've ran to school before once, and that was back in year 12. So I think that was 37 kilometres or something. Like, I just woke up. I called my mate the day before. I said, hey, come grab my backpack. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm running to school. Trust me. Because I had this, like, fixation in my head that I had to run to school.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm not going to be remembered for anything academic. So I got to be known for something. So then, yeah, I ran to school. That was probably the worst thing. Like, that was, like, the worst feeling I've ever had in my entire life. Because by the last 7Ks, I think, like, my whole body was shot. Because I could not run over 16 kilometres before that. I couldn't break it no matter what I did. Every time I'd get to that 16K mark, I just couldn't push through anymore. So I think that definitely, like, just clicked something in me where I was like, all right, like, I can actually do stuff that I didn't think that I could do. Like, once, like, you push through it, you get there.
And you just felt like you had to keep going.
Yeah, because I play a game with myself when I run. Like, no matter... Even now, I play the same game. It's... So if I run home from work, say, there's, like, this line of, like, bus stops. And it's, like, this subconscious thing. I don't know what it is, but I always feel the most pain as I'm getting closer to those bus stops. Because it's, like, that's, like, your relief.
Yeah.
Like, but you just keep thinking, what happens if I can get to the next bus stop? Or, like, you know, what am I going to think about myself in the... Like, after this, when I'm on the bus, because I've done it before where I've, like, pulled out of a run, you're sitting on the bus or you're sitting, like, in an Uber going home and you're just thinking, like, I had more in me. Like, you're just sitting in the Uber like, I'm actually kind of fresh. Like, what's happened to me? Yeah.
Or like after a beep test, I remember.
Yeah.
That was the most brutal one because you'd get a decent score, then you'd see all the other people pushing on, and you'd be like, I had so much more in me.
And you're sitting there, and I think the craziest thing is when you're in that beep test, you think you're about to die.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're at, like, your wit's end, and then you pull out of that beep test, and then you sit there for a second, you're like, I'm actually, like, all right now. What's happened? Like, obviously, like, you rested a bit,
within
but
like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And once you walk off there, you feel all right.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that's the biggest thing I've learnt is, like, your mind tries to pull you out of stuff.
Yeah.
Before, like, you can really get, like, moving. Like, always for me, the first 4Ks of every run is just nightmare for me. Like, it's just pure... Like, I don't feel fit. I don't feel fresh. That first 4Ks is just me trying to lock on, thinking about what I've got to get to.
Really?
Yeah.
But you could run like 20Ks after that, 30Ks after that.
Yeah, once you get over it, for running, I've got to try and relax. I've got to try not to think too hard. Because I've noticed if I think too hard, I'd start feeling insecure about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's like this, like, you know, when you go for a run, or say use a beep test again, you feel worried. I don't know, like, you just feel this, like, fear that you're not, like, you just tell yourself, you're just like, oh, I'm not fit enough for this, like, I can just do this tomorrow, I can't do this now. Like, every single, like, little thing about you that you feel worried about just all comes out in that pain. Like, I think the thing is just telling yourself, yeah, it's all right, I can just keep going, it's all good, just almost there, let's just try and get to the next one.
How often do you use that, go one more? Do you use that at every kilometre? Or do you use that, like, after 10 kilometres is done, you go, all right, one more from here, and then 11, one more from here, 12?
I think it comes in waves. Because I think once you go one more, I set myself into, like, a rhythm.
Mm.
Like I think music. Some people can't run to. Some people listen to podcasts, and I can't. I can't do that. But music for me, like I can listen to, like Cardi Up by Cardi B.
Yeah,
That's like
that gets you going.
That's like my go-to running song at the start of a run. If I want to set my pace,
Yeah.
like I listen to Up by Cardi B. Just like dun 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 dun, and then I'm just like
Yeah.
singing my head off, and then yeah, because once you stop thinking about how hard your run is, it becomes easier, I think.
Isn't it crazy how much your mind plays a role in that?
Yeah.
Like how you can program your mind to thinking things are easy or hard even on the opposite end of that.
Yeah, it's so like
a lot of people say that the worst part of their run is putting on their shoes. And once they put on their shoes and they're out, it just gets easy. It's easy after that. They're in.
Yeah.
But every morning putting on your shoes is so fucking hard.
Because you know what's about. You know what's about to come.
You know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But a big thing for me has been trying to reprogram that into excitement. Into like I'm excited to do this. I get to do this.
Yes, exactly. I get to do this.
It's the best feeling, and also knowing that the thing that's hard is the thing that's rewarding, and it's like, all right, I don't even care that this is hard anymore because this is so cool that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to get benefit out of this.
Yeah.
Like something like running and gym for me, I haven't run much. I've actually started this thing where I've started doing 1 kilometre a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm unfit as. I used to be pretty fit when I used to play cricket, but now I've just lost it. I haven't ran for like the past 3-4 years.
Yep.
And so I obviously can't get straight back into it.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, I'm just going to do 1 kilometre a day on the treadmill.
Yep.
And I show up every day, and then I started doing this routine, like started making this little calendar, running, meditation, reading. And it was the smallest increments of those. So it was 1K run, 10 minutes meditation, 10 pages of a book every day.
Yep.
And every day you cross it off like you're in primary school, like you get
every
that
day.
reward after it.
And you feel guilty if you don't cross it off, hey?
Yeah. And I had it in front of me on my desk, so I saw that thing there, and it was fucking staring at me the whole time, like ticked me off.
You can't escape it.
Can't escape it. So, and then the best thing about what it was that when I went running, it was in the treadmill in the gym. So like, I've walked to the gym, I may as well get a session.
May as well do this.
Yeah. I'm not just gonna do a K run for 5 minutes and walk back, am I?
Yeah.
Like I may as well make the most out of it. So. It's the best thing, like, and then a K, and then if you think about it, I haven't ran for 4 years.
Yeah.
I've run more in the last 25 days
than you've ever run in in
the last like 6-7 years, and it's felt so easy because all it is a K going at really slow speed for 5-6 minutes. That's all you have to do, just jogging, and then by the end of a year, I figure 365 days, I've run 365 Ks, which is more than probably 98% of the planet.
I think the biggest thing for me is in the morning so I have a routine. I just get out of bed straight away, make your bed, and I just hop in the shower. Like, and then in the shower, like I don't touch my phone. Because if I go on my phone in the morning, if I open up my phone and I start reading my messages I've gotten or like anything, I'm stuck in the bed for 2 hours. Like, not because I got that many messages, but like then you just scroll through Instagram, you watch YouTube, you watch TikTok, and then like you lose 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think just getting up, having your routines, shower, food, out the door. Just try not to think about it too much for me.
Yeah. The phone's a killer.
Yeah.
The phone keeps me in bed for probably another hour if I go on it.
I went through this thing because I've started uni this year, obviously. Yeah. And because I took all that time off work because I was just going to university, and then I'd go home. And then because this was like before I really got into my proper routines, like really started holding myself to like a level, I would just go to my lecture, do my work, like a little bit of work, like enough, and then I just go on my phone, and I racked up once. This was like the worst moment because I racked up I think it was 10 hours of screen time. And I just stared at that 10 hours, and I did it for a week. I just stared at that 10 hours every day, and I was just thinking what is happening to me, but now I've got it where like similar to your calendar, where I have that screen time at the top of my phone, and then I look at it, and if it's creeping up too high, I'm like, oh, okay, just put that down. Let's go do something.
Yeah. Can you do that? Can you change it so it's on top of your phone?
Yeah, you can put it as like a widget on your home
Oh.
screen. Yeah,
Sick.
best thing. I have it just right there. So
Yeah,
like,
it keeps you accountable.
if I'm going into it, because then like you don't want to be the guy with like 10 hours a day on his phone.
Yeah, yeah.
But that thing you said about that 1 kilometer a day,
Mm.
I think the biggest thing everyone does, and I've made this mistake, is you try and do too much too quickly. Like I tell people now that I've learned, like if you want to run fast and far, you've just got to run slow. Like you don't try to, like sprinting long distances doesn't happen. But if you build up that like just that little base running, where you just do that 1K at a slow speed, and then like maybe when you're wanting to bump it up to 2Ks, then when you feel like it, bump it up to 3Ks, and then slowly those like kilometers become nothing, and then you build up speed doing it.
Yeah, big time. It takes 21 days to build a habit. So it's just like about breaking that 21 barrier for me.
Yeah.
And once I'm through, I'm through. Because I've made the same mistake where I'm like, you're hurt or you're feeling something or whatever. You're like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym. And then you stay there for like 3 hours and you're like, fuck yeah, this is my new thing.
And you'll do it at night or something.
Yeah, you do it for like 4 days. And then by the 4th day, you're like, I don't really want to stay here for another 2.5 hours.
And
like after
like,
10 minutes.
You're just like dead as well.
Yeah.
You can burn yourself out so quickly.
And you've got that initial motivation, but it just doesn't last.
Yeah. That's what I found when I wanted, because I didn't want to really have like a marathon runner like body.
Right.
Like so a bit frail.
Yeah.
So I wanted to still do like my Muay Thai and like I like lifting weights and everything. So that was the biggest thing for me was because I just went running and then I just trained hard in the gym, and I'd run the next, like I was trying to run every single, like I watched like David Goggins running every single day, and I was trying to hit the gym as hard as I could every single day, and then I think by the first week of me doing that, like I was just like broken and I just didn't want to run anymore. I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like, all right, I'm going to dial everything back. I can't run every single day, so how about I just start running, and then one day I'll start swimming, because I'm not a good swimmer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to do something I'm not good at. And then I got to the pool and I'd be like, all right, today I'm just going to do 10 laps. Just like 10 laps is like half a kilometre, I think. And then it's just 10 laps in the pool. Like I felt fresh coming out, like I could have done more, but I was like, I just don't want to burn out. Yeah, I just want to learn how to swim and then build it up.
Yeah. People, like David Goggins definitely did what most people do though. He just went really hard.
He just somehow made it work.
But the interesting thing about David Goggins is that he like uses his trauma like no other person that I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And the thing if I were to sit down with David Goggins, I would ask him, do you worry that your trauma is going to run out and that you're not going to be able to use it as fuel?
Yeah.
Because he's used that his whole life to get to where he is, which is a fascinating thing. You can turn pain into not joy, but he obviously finds pleasure out of this. Like he obviously likes doing what he's doing. The thing I would ask would be, are you worried about losing that? And I think you could get to that stage, because he used to do these runs and whatnot just with the thoughts in his mind.
Just set on it and that's it.
Yeah. And like his dad used to beat him and his mum, and like he would think about this while running. And he even says that wearing headphones while doing exercise is cheating. Like if you really want to feel it, you got to relish what's in your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And he's gone past that now. Like his mind is so strong that he doesn't even. I think he's gone past that, and what he's started to do is voice over all the hate comments that he gets.
I think I heard
and then listen to
remember seeing something he did about that. Yeah.
So while he's working out or running, he's just listening to random people just spray him.
He's just saying like stuff.
Just hate on him.
This guy. Let's get after it. Let's get better than them.
And I wonder what happens to David Goggins in 10 years, where that's just not viable anymore. He's just not. You don't really want to listen to people. Just
he in his book, I use this as now. Actually, I think I think habit, some stuff you learn subconsciously, and then you think about it, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that before. But he also uses this thing of called like the cookie jar, where like, so every single past like little victory you've had, like even when you're running, say I'm running a 10K, or when you're in the gym, you think back to like, oh, okay, I was hurting like this like 2 days ago. I was hurting like this yesterday, but like I pushed through it and then I felt all right. And I think kind of just reminding yourself, like self-affirmation type stuff, where you've just got to have that like confidence that like, I've done this before, I can do this again. Like I've been through this situation, I've been through this pain, I can just pick myself up and keep running after it or running with it.
Yeah. I think there's definitely warrant to physical exertion as well. To just burning yourself out as much as you can.
I think there's something you get, like it's such a dopamine release. I think running in the morning and just sweating, getting your heart rate up and just sweating just feels like the best thing in the entire world to me. Like you can wake up, you feel horrible, you go out and you get your heart just pumping, and then I don't know, you get like this euphoric feeling after it, like a runner's high at the end of it. You're just like, life is good.
It's interesting because it's not always for physical appearance you do it for. Like, you could think about a time where I've gone through a few of these where you're hurting. You're mentally just like drained. Something bad's happened or whatever. And you just go out and all you want to do is just run as fast as you can, as hard as you can for as long as you possibly can.
You just want to kind of feel that.
You don't care about what your body's going to look like at the end of this or if you're going to have abs or not. You just want that relief.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that is out of running and not watching YouTube or watching Netflix or maybe it is for some people, but I think the most rewarding is when you like pick up those 30 dumbbells and just press them out. Yeah, or go for a sprint or something like that. I think it's beautiful.
I definitely agree. When you're like hurting and like say you're doing like a bench press, deadlift, rows, you're hurting, like you're getting to like the point where like you're really fatigued, and then you just switch on that whatever's like in your life that's like giving you some grief, giving you hurt, it's making you feel insecure. You just turn that on and you just start lifting those weights, and like I've felt it before where you've just never felt so strong in your entire life, and you just want to keep going till you drop. Yeah. Like, there's just nothing that can like kill you at that point.
There was this one person that said all the jack dudes you see in the gym have gone through some serious shit in their life.
Yeah.
I think that's true because to get to where they've got, they needed consistency, motivation, discipline, and a whole bunch of protein powder.
Yeah.
But to even keep on that straight and narrow, I mean, a normal person who hasn't gone through much doesn't have to do that. They've got a good life. They don't need to do that. They can just chill out what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're happy. They're fine. But someone who's gone through shit, they're like, I need to fuck this. I need to change. I need to do something. Let me find my hobby. Something like the gym is so addicting, but like to get to that addiction, I've been addicted to the gym before as well. Yeah. Like, I don't think I've gone through enough hurt in my life to stay addicted to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm addicted to it for like 2 months, and I'm like, all right, I'm looking decent. I'm just going to step aside now and like have a month off. It's just fascinating. So when I see a jack dude, I'm like, what have you gone through, bro?
Saying that, like the whole story of that. So this is where I started working out. This is when I started like back in, I think it was year 7. So I had just come out of I used to be homeschooled up until year 6.
Yeah.
It's like socially I wasn't really like the best like person to like try and make friends. But I remember distinctly our teacher in year 7 had this rule for us to play Foursquare. Like when you got out to get back in, you had to do 10 push-ups. And to like, if you wanted to skip in front of the line, you had to beat the person against you to do push-ups, and you could like skip in front of them. And I remember doing them, and I think I got like 3 out, and this guy was just pumping them out against me. Everyone laughed, and like I just felt like I mean, it's not much, but it was just that point where I was just like, wow, like this guy just like beat me in push-ups. It was like something so simple, but it made me feel so insecure because like everyone was laughing, the teacher kind of laughed, and I was like, all right, I remember getting in the car that day with Dad, and I was like, I can't ever let that happen to me again.
Yeah.
And I just started like doing push-ups at home and pull-ups at home.
That's where you got started?
Yeah.
How old were you then?
What's that in the what's it, you say like 12, 13.
Mm.
But I think it was kind of more the fact that this is what still kind of drives me, is like I want to be in a position where like I'm capable. Like I don't want to be in a position, say, like if someone I love needs protecting, or like if I need to, yeah, just pretty much if someone I love needs protecting, if there's just something like I physically need to do, I don't want to be not physically capable to do it.
Yeah.
Like imagine like someone's been crushed by something, you just can't lift it off them.
Yeah.
Or like imagine someone's attacking your family, and like you're so like I guess not either skinny or like unfit that you can't look after your family, and like you just have to see like, you know, your mum or brother or someone just get hurt.
Yeah.
I think that always just rests in the back of my mind.
Wow. I haven't thought of it like that, but I guess there is some element of that. You know, that's interesting because when I got started, I remember I had gotten into this fight at primary school.
Yeah.
Like primary school, bro. This is like year 4 maybe. Year 4. And this isn't like my start, but this is when I had the same thing as you, where I was like, I got into this little fight with this kid who knows where he is now. Yeah. But I don't know, cried after it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember after that, I just wouldn't sleep, and instead of sleeping, I'd just do push-ups. Like I just want to get strong. I was the same as you. Yeah. Like I was like 10 at that age.
You just feel weak.
Insecure,
yeah. Because you're like, that guy just like, I was going to say dominated me, but like you don't want to say that guy dominated you, but like he like just overclassed you, whatever. Like just like he beat you, like you just can't let that happen.
It feels shit.
Yeah, and like you can't. I don't know. It's just like how are you meant to like be competitive after that?
Yeah.
Like what can you do?
Yeah. I don't want to be a loser.
Yeah, I don't want to lose to these people.
Nah.
I think especially if you can do something about it, because like you can get better at push-ups. So why am I just going to let him walk over me?
Mm.
Why don't I go do some push-ups? Why don't I get better at these push-ups?
Yeah. I know. I've had this obsession lately with trying to get into the top 5% of the world with different things.
Yeah.
Like the more I can accumulate that, the better person I will be.
Yeah.
So for example, if I run 365 kilometers in 365 days, I'll be in the top 2% of the world, most likely. Most people aren't doing that, right? Most people aren't running 365 kilometers in a year.
Yeah.
They just aren't. They're probably running 50 or 20 or 30 or whatever.
Yeah, but that's obviously that's not walking, that's like running.
It's running.
It's like dedicated to that time. Yeah.
And if I'm reading 10 pages of books a day, I'm in the top 5% of readers in the world. If I'm meditating, I'm in the top 1% of meditators in the world. Like,
okay.
There's little things like that which you just wouldn't realise that bring so much benefit to your life, but if you do them consistently, separate you from the rest of the world. And I've just been obsessed with finding these little niches that I just
dominating everyone in that.
Dominating.
Yeah. I guess you'd feel pretty good like walking around saying, I'm in like the top 5%, top 2% of this.
Yeah.
Like even if no one else cares, it's like, I'm in the top 2% of you.
Yeah. It's unreal. So I think even like that is a aspect of like, I want to dominate these people in this space.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to fucking do it. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to wait for anyone. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
The more you do it, the more that number decreases.
Yeah, the more confident you get.
Yeah.
Back with the talking about like, how like someone's beating you in a fight or push-ups. I think the other thing as well that's really changed my life, or like helped me in a way, like focusing on like the sadness you felt, is like, so I was like kind of like lazy getting into uni. Not gonna lie, I was like, I didn't really hold myself accountable to it. And I think there's nothing worse than missing a deadline that you told people you would make. Everyone's expecting you to make it, and then everyone's just like, why didn't you make it? And you've got this was what drives me in university now, and like anything, is like I've told people I'm going to do this because I've felt that telling people I'm going to do this and then not doing it, and like you just feel like the shittest person. Like I've never felt so small than in those moments where I was like, yeah, I'm doing this, like I'm going to get in by this date, like I'm going to have all my work done at this. And then that date comes around, and like 3 days out, you're trying to like cram everything together. And and then everyone's just like, well, why didn't you make it? And you can't, like, you got no like, you're trying to think of an excuse, but you've got no excuse.
Yeah.
And I think that's like been like the worst, kind of like. But then now in university, when I'm like tired at the end of the day of studying, or I don't really want to go into a lecture, I don't want to pay attention, I don't want to read, I just think back like, yeah, like last time you did this, like, remember what happened? Like you wasted all this time. Like why you sooking now? Like you didn't have time to sook. Like get back after it. Come on.
Yeah. So you think holding yourself accountable is the best way for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to, if I tell myself something now, like whenever I wake up in the morning, I've got like, this is also like mind games I play with. Like I have to play these like mind games with myself. So like kind of entertaining for me.
Yeah.
I'll have like 3 basic tasks I need to do in the day, like my essential, like go to this lecture, work out, make your breakfast. Basic stuff. Then I'll have like 5 other things that I need to do, and then I just call those like my extras. Like these, like if I want to be good today, this is what I do. Then you do the minimum, and you're like, you don't want to tell people, yeah, I've done the minimum in my day, and that just kind of ticks in my head, going, all right, let's get this other 5 done. I want to do it. I want to have a good day. I don't want to have a bare minimum day. But yeah, I think that's definitely essential for me to, like, just play those games against myself, just to test myself.
Yeah.
Because then at the end of the day, I can go, I didn't do the bare minimum today. I did what I wanted to do. I did what I needed to do today.
And it holds yourself accountable as well.
Yeah.
So then you can measure it over a span of 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then all those little victories, you just feel better each one. And then even on my runs, say I think David Goggins talks, I think this is where I got the idea from. So like so I have like this little loop I do sometimes. It's like only like a 5K loop. But then if I take a left here, it turns into a 12K run. And then even if I've got a 12K run scheduled that day, I'll tell myself I'm only going to do 5Ks. And then once I get up to that point where it turns off, I'm just like, like, are you going to be a bitch about this? Or are you going to do what you actually did? Are you going to be like, are you going to chicken out, or are you going to take the hard route? Like, are you going to be a badass, or are you going to be like a weakling?
Yeah.
And then once it gets to that, like when you ask yourself that, like, do I want to be weak and soft with this and take the easy way, or do I want to go the hard way? Like, if you're answering, I want to go the easy way, like, you shouldn't be running.
Yeah. Don't compete.
Yeah, just don't.
No.
Like, I think you need to look at yourself. If you go, I want to take the soft route, like, no way. I want to do the hard stuff. Like, Like, I don't, because, I think if you take the soft route, you got to go home and sit with yourself. I think there's nothing worse than when I haven't gone to the gym on a day, or I haven't done my run, or I haven't done uni, and I'm sitting with myself, eating dinner. It's just churning in my head, like you could have done that, you should have done that, Isaac. Like, why didn't you do that? And
I feel like, you should. For me, I've tried to turn my breakfast into a victory by making it seem like I've earned this. I don't just want to eat a nice bacon and eggs or some cereal by doing nothing, by just waking up to my alarm. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I want to go to the gym first, have a cold shower, do something else, and then earn my breakfast.
Yeah, okay.
That's been big for me for the morning routines.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
That makes me feel like I've accomplished something.
Because by breakfast, you're sitting there, you're like, all right, you're feeling like awake. You're not like just like eating breakfast. You're just feeling awake. You're like, all right, what else? I think you just kind of start thinking, like, what else can I do today? Yeah. Like, I've already done all this. Like, what's next? What's next? What's next?
I think the beautiful thing about 100% accountability, which is, I think, why a lot of people are drawn to people like David Goggins or Jocko Willenick or whoever those thinkers and speakers are, is because inside we feel it. Like, we have this fucking demon on our shoulder that is saying this stuff already. Yeah. And for so long, people have dodged it or not taken it seriously. And when you've got someone like Goggins or Jocko reaffirming that devil, saying, hey, listen to that guy, because that guy is actually going to get you somewhere. Yeah. That guy's going to make life hard for you, which is how it should be. But the reason life's hard is because it's rewarding. Yeah. And having someone like that talk to me indirectly has been massive, bro.
Yeah,
Massive.
I think there's stuff you can pick out of it where you're like, yeah, okay, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah. And look, it's better than someone saying, hey, feel free to sit on the couch all day. I mean, you can say that, but no one's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to really do that. I mean, they might, but...
I think in the moment you do.
Of course,
like,
of course.
So every Sunday, normally, Sunday is like my off day, which in a way, I guess it's good, but it also shows me what I don't want to do all the time. So I think this is again for me personally, like this is just like I think some people can work out 7 days a week, study 7 days a week, everything to the T. That's personally not me. On Sundays, like my only rule is I have to get up in the morning and go for a walk. Apart from that, like if I spend the whole day on the couch, I'll spend the whole day on the couch. I'll never work. I don't do any working out on Sundays though, so I won't go to the gym. But like I've spent like an entire Sunday just laying in my bed watching like movies on Netflix. But I think at the end of the day, it kind of makes you appreciative of like working hard during the week. Because like you're like, all right, like I don't want to do this every single day. I feel better when I like work out. I feel better when I go for a run. I feel better just doing that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's just for me. Like, because I think everyone's different. Everyone's different, definitely, in like how their routine has to be set.
Yeah.
Like I think, like the way I run and the way I hype myself up is like completely different in the way like I think about stuff. I think is different to other people. Like some stuff, like my mate can kind of just, I don't know, do it. He doesn't have to play any games with himself. He just kind of does it. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like I kind of hate this sometimes. It's like some people can work out with people all the time, but I can't do that because I get just too distracted. So I think it's just kind of like knowing, just what makes you tick. That's where David Goggins and that stuff's good because I think they can show you the path, but then your path is going to be different to how their path is going to be. Yeah.
Most people overestimate what they can do in a week or two and underestimate what they can do in a year or a decade.
Yes, yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're speaking to here is like just getting up and doing it rather than thinking about it or planning it out or saying I'm going to spend 3 hours in the gym today and 2 hours running today. I'm just going to run. How about that? How about I'm just going to show up at the gym for 5 minutes?
Yeah, just those small victories.
For 10 minutes, so small victories, and they accumulate. And then you can, over time, you can build them up. You can, even if it's something like 5 minutes in the gym.
And I think once you get that, once you start going in the gym, you're just like, I'm here, I may as well work out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, I may as well do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest thing for me, is just getting in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, don't even plan the workout. Just get in there. And then I'm sweet. I'm fine after that.
Yeah. Once you get going on a run, like you can sit staring at your shoes, getting ready to go for a run forever. You can think like, oh, okay, on this run, like, oh, my left calf is killing me right now.
Yeah.
Like, should I be stretching? Should I even run? I think once you start, like, down that spiral of should I even do this, that you can just be locked in that for like an hour, and like just get, like you said, just getting up, going out, and doing it. Figure it out as you go.
Yeah. So is it motivation or discipline for you? Or something else?
I think it comes in waves for me, because like sometimes it's like, I'm like I enjoy running, like not all the time, but like I enjoy the feeling I get from running, so I don't mind to run. But sometimes it's just like I think last week it was just effort.
Yeah.
To run, like it wasn't even like enjoyable. It was like I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah.
And then it was like just kind of like, all right, you just got to do it. Because then I think this is again where I just think of like all the times I've said I'm going to do something, and then I haven't put in the work for it. And I know the consequences of me saying it, or like taking that off. Like if I don't run, I know the consequence is going to be, I don't do that run, I'm not going to do the next run. And then I just start spiraling from that. And then by the time the marathon comes around, I haven't trained for it. Everyone's going, oh, why didn't you, do well in the marathon, or why didn't you even do the marathon? And I just go, oh, I was lazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So sometimes it's like, sometimes I'm up in the morning and I'm just like, fuck yes, let's get after it. Like, I'm feeling good. Other times in the morning, I'm lacing up my shoes and I'm thinking like, I want this to be over.
This.
Like I hate this right now. Like, yeah, I think on that like motivation and discipline, I've learnt I've been training my mind because I went through a stage 3 weeks ago. I feel like me a month ago compared to me now, two different people, because I've just had so much like stuff happen in the last month or last 3-4 months. But I think it was like 3-4 weeks ago. It was just this week, and I think this was like a proper burnout. This is like the first time I've ever experienced a burnout where I've actually worked hard enough to have a burnout. And like I just had this like negativity, like just brewing in my head. Like on my run, I noticed it. This is like a 12K run. Normally I'm doing fine on it, and I just felt like this like. It was like this like other voice in my head just going like, why the fuck are you even doing this? You're a piece of shit. Like, you're unhealthy. You're fake. Like, every single thing I was like insecure about, and it was like you don't even run this. You're just doing this so you can talk to people about it. Like, what are you even doing right now? Like, get in the car, whatever. Just you're a piece of shit. Like, and I just had this for like a week straight. Every single gym session I had, every single run I did, I was just like. And even swimming, I was just like, I don't know, there was just something in my head where I was just like beating myself up for no reason. Because I was like, I'm doing everything like I'm telling myself to do. Why am I being like this? But I think because I was hanging around with some people, like some mates where they're just like, they'll just like talk shit. Like some people are just insecure where they like pick on you. And I think just that was like an accumulation where I was just like breaking myself down for like but it was like confusing to me because I just was breaking myself down for no reason. It was just because I wanted to. So, and then after that, I just kind of sat down with myself in a way. I said, all right, like from now on, I need to like speak positively about myself.
Yeah.
And then since doing that, like I've just never felt better. Like I'll have like a banter with myself in a way. Like I'll be going, and I'll just be like, all right, come on, Isaac, you can do better. You can do better than that. Then I'll pick up my pace, and then at the end of it, I'm like, all right, sweet, like I'm doing good today. And then I just try and have that like positive thinking in myself, like self-positive thinking, like those once again, like self-affirmations. Like, and that's like been the biggest thing for me, just having like that like love of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have to do this, I get to do this. Like, because once you start building yourself up positively, I feel like you can you feel invincible in a way.
Yeah.
Like, nothing can break you off that.
Yeah. How much has that helped you?
Oh, incredible amounts. Like,
yeah.
I think it's... Like, I stopped worrying about things. Because I was like, I'm doing... Like, some things I can, like... Like, I'm doing everything I'm setting out to do in my day. I haven't got any, like, overdue, like, assessments. I haven't got any overdue bills. I'm working when I tell my boss I'm going to... Like, I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm telling myself, like, kind of like a good job. Like, we're doing good. Like, let's keep this up. Like, we're enjoying this. Like, happy days. Like, this is going to be so good at the end of it. Like think of, like, the results you're going to have. I think then I can kind of walk around, like, a bit taller. Like, yeah, like, I'm doing a good job. Like... And then you stop thinking... I think you stop caring about what others think a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, like... I'm just like, look, you can try and point out an insecurity of me, but, like... I know what mine are.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to feel down sometimes. Like, you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm not really happy with that today. But, like, it's okay. Like, you're like... Yesterday I thought I was feeling really good. So the mirror hasn't changed, but my thinking has changed. So I kind of use that as a gauge as well. If I look at myself in the mirror and think, yeah, like you're hideous today, or like you're not looking good, or like what the fuck's that on your head? Like the mirror hasn't changed, but like your thinking has. Yeah. So that's kind of what I just feel amazing after that.
Isn't it crazy how the only thing you can really control in the world is your mind?
Yeah.
Like simply, you can't control when the next flood, earthquake, the next whatever's going to happen. The only thing you can control is what you think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's the most liberating thing ever. All right, we're back. Just had a little break. Camera broke.
Yeah,
In the meantime.
Try to change the camera and
Shattered about that. Nah, it's fixed again, I think. It's turning on, thankfully.
we're not testing it out there. Quick $600 fix.
All right, anyways, I wanted to ask, when someone's getting into their fitness journey or wants to get into it,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
I'd say start slow, start easy. Like basic movements. Like if you're going to a gym compared to like going at home. This is for like working out. Just start with like some push-ups, pull-ups, squats. Like I think that's all you really need to start off with. And then once you get comfortable doing that, and this is once again like just on your first night of working out, don't set out and go, all right, I'm like, you know, when you have that span of motivation, don't go, all right, I'm going to do 300 push-ups and you've never done push-ups before in your life. Like, don't go, I'm going to do 300 push-ups every single day in one sitting. Because, like, you're not going to do that. You may do that for one, if even, day. Just build yourself up slow. For running, once again, don't do too much too quick. Like, if you want to run fast and long, just run slow. Just run slow where you can breathe. I like to call it like a talking pace. Like you're jogging, but you can still comfortably talk to someone with I can talk and I can have I can have a conversation with you. Because if you go too hard too quick, you're gonna get shin splints. Like you'll actually get more results quicker if you run it slow, because you can do it more consistently and over time.
Yeah. Stretch out the time span. Yeah.
Don't try and do it all at once. Like you're not going to be able to run a marathon every single day.
Yeah. Plus you can get injured.
Yeah. Shin splints like the worst things. Like if you run hard for a week and the next week you got shin splints, you've technically only done, you've literally only done 1 week's worth of work in 2 weeks. When you can do 2 weeks worth of work in 2 weeks by just running slower.
Good luck on your marathon, bro.
I'm looking forward to it.
I root for you.
Scared. I'll probably FaceTime you halfway through.
Yeah.
Tears down my face.
Yeah.
When I'm like in like the
hands
worst
on knees.
Yeah, the worst moment after it. I'll be like, all right, Addy, I did it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, dude. I appreciate it.
No worries.
We'll have a chat later.
Till next time.
Sweet.